And I found you on Instagram because you first had another pink pedal.
Oh, was that what happened?
That's how it happened, because I was in search of pink, because I wanted an all pink pedal board.
Okay.
And somehow it just went in my feed, your pedal, and I was like, this is just awesome.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I must have done. I think I did custom colors for one of my pedals, the Nano Boost, and I think that might have been it. Or I also did some hardware for a bass in town. Somebody was doing a bass that was all white and pink, and I powder coated some hardware for that. So I think that kind of like got the train rolling, and like then people asked for those in pink, and then you must have hopped. I think you were the 4th or 5th pink DL4.
Yeah, I was the first like glitter though.
Yes, yeah. You, I remember you had, was it BS Custom Knobs?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I just saw it, and I'm like, back then, even though it's like just a couple months ago, like it was rare to find a pink pedal. The only pink pedals I saw was like the cream puff pedal, and I can't really think of another one right now, but
yeah. At that time, it was kind of fairly new, I think.
Yeah. And then after, you like purveyed of the pink pedal. Like, so everybody makes a pink pedal now.
It's just kind of a good vibe, I think.
Yeah, I like the pink pedal, but
yeah,
so
absolutely.
Why did you like start making pedals? How did you get into it?
Oh god, this would have been like 2013, I think. Yeah, I would have been like freshly out of high school then, and I had built like AB switches, like tuner mutes, stuff like that, just like tap tempos and stuff. But yeah, from there I was just kind of interested in circuits and interested in like people were making clones, and I was like, oh, that's cool. You can just go online, like Google Tube Screamer, find the schematic for a Tube Screamer, and then just kind of build it. Like from there, it's just like a map for where the parts go, basically. So, and how everything's hooked up, and then you can kind of, it's like a recipe for building a pedal, basically.
That's super cool.
So there's like a ton of that, and I started kind of doing that. And you can try swapping out different parts to get different sounds. You can disconnect things and stuff like that, and it's just kind of like you're just kind of tinkering with stuff at like the very like minimal level, I guess. And so I started doing that, and then was making pedals for friends. Went to school in Boston, was building pedals there a little bit, and then had a couple job offers down here in Nashville. Worked with a pedal company called Nose Pedal for a little while, and then as they were changing ownership, I left, and then eventually kind of started AWOL Pedals here and started branding my stuff. And yeah, that was about 1.5 years ago now, I think.
Okay, and what is like the first pedal that you started selling?
I was trying to build a boost, like a transistor boost, in a really small box. Like it was kind of started as just kind of like a challenge by like one of my peers. It was like, can you fit that in a small square box? And I was just like, yeah, I think so. But the problem I was having was it's just like there's nowhere for you to be able to step on it without hitting the knob, because it's literally like, it's like that big, right? Yeah. So I was like, the knob has to go on the side, or like one of the north or south faces or something like that, and kind of made the design around like needing a mini pedal instead of trying to make a normal pedal smaller, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So made the Nano Boost, and was just kind of like trying to see what else I could make in like a one knob format. And there's still so many designs I'm playing with and wanting to do in that form factor. But yeah, it's just kind of, I think the small pedal thing is kind of like trendy right now, and like people really value their pedal board real estate and stuff. So yeah, I just kind of went on that, I guess.
Okay, it's cool. And then from there, I know you have a fuzz pedal as well.
Yeah, I have a one knob fuzz pedal. It was out, I think it was on Christmas Day, actually. That's called the Virus. Yeah, it's just a silicone based, kind of like a similar to a fuzz face kind of circuit, but a little gnarlier, a little glitchier. It's kind of halfway between like a ballsy glitchy fuzz and like.
Do you think we could get like a little sampling here?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Cool.
Oh. Yeah, I kind of call it my dad rock pedal.
Dad rock?
Yeah, because it's kind of like, it's kind of that vibe, but. clean tone.
Clean tone.
It's kind of like soft but hard at the same time. Kind of just like very kind of distortion fuzz, you know. It's not like overbearingly loud and like gainy. You can still kind of hear individual notes when you play chords and stuff like that. It's like,
Great. Can we get like another pedal that you have?
So I'm working on releasing these two actually.
Okay.
They're two versions of the same circuit. One's like a low gain and one's kind of high gain. So it's kind of like a sparklier, kind of more of a like a transparent overdrive, as they say, or whatever. And then the other one is kind of not that. It's kind of
Okay, I love this pedal. The sound.
Yeah, this one's kind of like more like hard rock,
Yeah.
heavy rock. Kind
That's
of,
like my vibe.
kind of
I
like that. It kind of parallels. I have the Canyon set up as a chorus. It pairs really well with that right now.
Oh, cool.
It's just like a weird like.
And you customize the Canyon.
Yes, the
Right.
Canyon. The Canyon I do a mod on.
Let's see if we can get a
Sure. Yeah.
view.
Yeah. So it's this pedal. Basically, it only has a foot switch, 1 foot switch normally, and I move it over. Have dual light, and the second foot switch is like infinite repeats thing. So you have it set up like a delay, and you just like. So it's kind of an infinite repeats.
That's
switch,
awesome.
basically. So you can do some cool swells and stuff like that, and it'll just go crazy. You can hold it down, and it'll just go nuts.
I know.
Super fun. Yeah. Yeah, that's just a fun pedal. Also, it has like the trails toggle, which is, you know, when you're playing, you turn it off, and it just cuts. It's not really musical. It kind of just like cuts the signal, so you can turn the trails on. When you turn it off, when you're transitioning into like the chorus or verse of the next part of the song, it trails on instead of just cutting and kind of making it like a musical awkwardness, and you know. But
And
yeah.
what is the white pedal? It's a loop I see.
Over here.
White
over here.
like the
Okay.
massive.
Yeah, so that's actually a rehouse of a Ditto X2 by TC Electronics. Basically, it's a rehouse and a mod that
Let's see
makes the effects on the pedal more easy to like access or whatever. It just takes it from being a toggle switch to stomp switches, basically. Here, actually, look at this. Some power to it. Here, we'll use this one. So it basically lets you access the effects right away. So your standard loop mode is right there. Your stop function is right there. But if you want the effects, you hit this. Blue goes on, and you get either reverse or 50%, which is the half speed. So you can kind of record something like a guitar, half speed it, and then it like sounds like a bass all of a sudden.
Oh, that's
kind of bizarre. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So that's that pedal. Yeah, I'm still like playing around with that. I kind of want to do the same mod with the, I think it's called EHX 720 looper. It's like the same thing but smaller. I kind of want to try that.
Yeah, because that fits the brand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's super neat looking. Like I saw it and it's like, what is this?
Yeah, they're pretty. It's a pretty like work sensitive mod. So it's just like, because it's you got to drill it every.
And I like the white aesthetic, white and black.
Yeah, just kind of with that stamped look. Yeah, it does a cool thing for sure.
Is there any other pedals that you want to demonstrate or?
Let's see. I I could kind of show off the Nano a little bit too. Here. So this is kind of the like main pedal in the line, I guess. If there were like a main character. Don't ever do that, by the way. Don't try that at home. So it kind of thickens it up, kind of adds like a layer of gain on top of it. It's a JFET boost, so it kind of colors the signal in like a nice way. So it's kind of in between. I tell people it's in between a clean boost and a dirty boost.
Okay.
So really good for solos because you can kind of put it after your gain if you just want like the same sound a lot louder for like a solo, just so you can be heard. Because say the sound man doesn't know when your solo is or whatever, you can just kick it on and then you're there. And then if you want more gain and more volume, you put it in front of your dry pedals and your dirty you're using, and it kind of gives you more gain and more kind of flavor as well. So
Okay.
yeah, that's the way I have to set it.
And this is the Nano.
Yeah, that's the Nano.
Okay, so yeah, the Nano, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of more it's more utility, and the Virus is kind of like its own sound.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, because the Nano just kind of sounds like your guitar, it just kind of sounds like your guitar but louder. Just a little bit of a mid-range push too. So yeah, that's kind of what I sell the most of. Really looking forward to having these two overdrives out there. Basically, this is a room I've only been in for I think like 4 or 5 months now, but it's an extra space I'm running out of the house I live in. So over here we have kind of just like pedals I've collected, pedals I've made. Down here is kind of prototype land.
And out of pedals that you haven't made, like what's your go-to, like favorite pedals?
Ooh, I like basically anything on this row.
Okay.
Yeah, I really love.
I've seen the 1981, and I've seen it in pink, which I want.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Very cool distortion pedal. We have the low fuzz, super thick and gnarly fuzz pedal. This guy is just like a classic and super clean. SD1, a Rat, again, kind of 80s rock sound. So those are fun.
Super cool. And
it's
this
like a custom drive I built myself a long time ago. Yeah, those are just kind of fun.
we're moving along.
Yeah, moving along. I kind of have a shipping station here. It's crazy messy right now.
So I see you're a fan of chocolate milk or hot chocolate.
Yeah, hot chocolate.
Is that the drink that energizes the pedals?
Yeah, that's the vibe for sure.
Okay.
That enhances the mojo. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of shipping land over there. Over here is like the guitars. So
Okay.
when someone comes by,
This is a Glory.
Yeah, so when someone comes by and wants to like play something, they can try out different things. I am loaning some guitars from Pure Salem. Make some really cool stuff, like this 335 style guitar, but no F holes, which is really interesting. So it's like chambered. This Goldfinch guitar, shout outs to Phil and Goldfinch. Super cool. Triple P90, but one of them's a dog ear. Here's a Strat that I've had since I was like 13. Which is kind of a made in Mexico metallic purple. That's kind of rare. And then another Pure Salem bass that I'm borrowing right now.
Awesome.
Yeah, super thick. And then the work area is right here. Also very messy right now.
And so this is everything that you need to make a pedal, theoretically.
So here are the parts drawers. Basically, 80 to 90% of what I need is in here. Everything else is down below and in bags. Hoping to get more parts drawers soon. But basically, you just kind of read your build sheet for as you go along and just grab stuff and you grab it as you go and populate boards that way. Over here is stuff I'm currently working on, like current DL4s. Like if you had a DL4 order, it'll be in here, and as it's being worked on. Or if you have a Canyon, it'll be there as well. kind of have a test board for A/Bing stuff with like an old nano and old virus and stuff to see like if they kind of line up correctly. If I play them, then they sound drastically different. Something's wrong, and we switch out that board. And then here's where some of the stock is, and some extra parts and enclosures, and we have just kind of knobs and lids and anything that kind of goes into the building of those. And yeah, so that's basically.
And then amps.
And then amps, yeah. So we have my main guy is a Viber Champ from 1975. I've remade it, kind of rebuilt it with some help. When I got it, it was just needed a new output transformer. The plug was like chopped. A bunch of other things were wrong with it. So, and then I'm using this Mojo Diamond.
What is a Mojo Diamond? Because I'm not familiar.
It's by Hot Tone or Hot One or whatever, and it's just a solid state amp. And basically, I use this for when I have to turn stuff on and off really quickly, like turn it on to test something, turn it off so I'm not turning my tube amp on all day. Just a little easier. But if I want more like kind of recognition of what's going on tonally, I switch to the tube amp. And then this is just kind of another flavor. It's a Wessel that's been modded to be a little bit more of like AC-15 hand wired, but just the bare bones, kind of the Brian May mod, as you will. So that's just kind of another amp flavor I try. And people are welcome to bring amps and guitars, of course, here. But yeah, that's just kind of what I have to test and what I use to verify that stuff's working and whatnot. So
awesome. Yeah. So we are going to be, let me pan camera. We're going to be going offline, and then I'm going to ask a couple more questions, and you have to view that on YouTube. So thank you all for viewing.
Love it.
Bye. Bye.
Cool. Building a prototype entropy for somebody. I give like prototypes and stuff to friends and stuff like that to get people's opinions on it, you know. So I just Sharpied where the drilling needs to be, and then from there I use a center hole punch, which you just push on there and it makes like a little dent, if you'll see right there, and that's where you start the drill bit. I'll take it outside to the shed that has the drill press and drill the appropriately sized holes for it. Like the foot switch is obviously bigger hole and the pots are smaller. So I do that, and then from there I build the board. So on this is just a blank PCB. So I'll build the resistors first. So like I'll take apart, you basically bend it like so, and put it in, fold the leads out so it stays in, just like that. And the iron's not on, but I would just tap there and there with a little bit of solder, and then do that for all the parts. I have a certain order I do it in, like resistors first, and then diodes, and then caps, and then everything else, op amps and JFETs, and then in the pots and whatnot. But basically I kind of, it's like Legos in a way, kind of. It just kind of, yeah, it's just kind of like you get to like
so
start
like piece things
start
together.
With nothing, and then like, yeah, piece it together till it's a pedal. And then once the board is done, it has to connect to the hardware. So on a Nano, what I do is I grab two of these. These are your input and output jacks. I grab one of these. This is a mini low profile triple pole double throw switch. So this is the true bypass switch. So this is what gives you true bypass when it's off. So one of those. We have some DC jacks, one of these. So this goes on the north side of the Nano, and on this it'll go on the left. That's what gives it the power. That's where you plug in your one spot, or your power from your Voodoo Labs, or your Strymon Ojai, or whatever supply you're using. And then from there, it needs one LED. Then, you know, I'm using white currently. Used to use red, and it's just kind of like a nice neutral LED. And then after the pots are pushed through and tightened down, they get knobs. So on this custom pedal I'm doing right now, I'll probably be using either these white knobs or the metal knobs, just like these ones. But yeah, I have like quite the collection
This is like
of just
so
knobs.
fascinating.
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of my day to day. These are just like miscellaneous knobs I've accumulated over the years. Like these are from a Rat. These are from a EHX Pog. So they just kind of gather. Here are the boards. So these are what I build the pedals on. Currently the Nanos are built on one of these.
Wow.
Very tiny.
They are nano, actually.
Yeah, and that's the finished board.
Oh my gosh! So this is what's making the noise.
Yeah, so that's giving the Nano its character and its sound and boosting your signal. And then this is kind of something I have in the works, which I'm redesigning the Nanos to be a little easier to build and to hopefully sound even better.
Awesome.
So that's those. The Virus, I don't have one built right now, but these are what the boards look like for those. They're also extremely tiny. Not quite as small, but
wow.
Yeah, that's the fuzz pedal. And then I have the buffer down here as well, which is just for running along cables. It fixes the capacitance issue and the loss of high end that you often get running along cable runs. So that's basically how I'll build it. Once it's done, I kind of take it over to either the mini board right here or put it on the ground and then just kind of test it to make sure it's sounding good. I kind of annoy my roommates and hopefully not my neighbors, but I just test things meticulously because I'm like, I need to know, like, try all the pots, try all these combinations of the sounds to make sure it's working properly, make sure it's just not like a dud, I guess, you know, because some can sound so different. Like you'll build two of the same circuit and it can sound like quite noticeably different, and that's just that's tolerances and parts and stuff like that. And so it's cool to see that pedals each have their own little flavor and stuff like that, but it makes me test and test and test parts again and again and pedals again and again. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. And then once it's done, the boxes are up here, and basically I just fold a box like so. Fold the box, and then a pedal goes in that.
Awesome.
And in that, I include the instructions and about the pedal, a sticker, guitar picks if I have them, just kind of your normal boutique pedal swag that you throw in there. I need to get on my swag game more, because like people throw in buttons and like
wow,
tattoos and stuff, yeah, like temporary tattoos and keychains and stuff like that. And I've just got like a couple of things, so I need to get on my pedal swag game and just give away more stuff. But yeah, that's part of it. It's like really fun for sure.
Awesome. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or?
I'm trying to think what else there is. Oh, when it comes to the content making, because that's like a big part of my life, is just like the daily content of just like more documenting just what I'm up to and what I'm building. I use various colored poster board. So I have like, that's my cooking tray for powder coating out there.
So you actually paint at the pedals as well?
Yeah, so for the majority of the pedals, I powder coat in the shed as well. I'll actually show you the gun for powder coating. Looks like this. It's just kind of a simple thing. You screw on a jar with the powder, and it hooks to a grounding clip, and then you just powder coat and use a toaster oven or a countertop oven. Is what I'm currently using. Yeah, it's pretty fun. You can kind of do a lot of custom orders and new custom colors, and
cool.
If people want stuff turned pink, you can make that happen.
People like Sarah, turn it pink.
Yeah, exactly.
Paint it pink.
Exactly. So like when I'm done, say I just finished your pedal, for instance, what I would do is I'd come over here, and this is kind of my photo area, and I would set down a poster board, whichever color I choose, and then kind of get it lighted correctly with the lamp over there, and take a photo and then edit it on my phone and post it. And that's